かつての映画を取り戻すために R34GTR は
Importing cars from Japan has become increasingly popular over the last couple of years, and there are many reasons why this is happening. With this in mind, I've decided to investigate why this is the case, and how to import your dream machine. There are many different ways, some easier than others. So here it is. How to import a car from Japan. We start off with why. For many years, people have imported cars from Japan into Ireland, but these were mainly the kind of enthusiast sort of cars that we all know and love. Mitsubishi Evos, Nissan Skylines and whatnot. And obviously, as some of these cars were either sold in really small numbers or not sold at all, people had to get them overseas. Although this all turned on its heads when our neighbours did something really stupid. In July 2016, Brexit happened. Britain had revealed after having a referendum that they would be leaving the European Union, and this didn't go fully into action until the 1st of January 2021. At this moment, as Britain are no longer treated as a European Union member, they have lost their free trade. So what you would have done beforehand was, if you were importing a car from the UK, you didn't have to pay any customs or taxes or tariffs. But now, you do. What the fuck? And this has single-handedly destroyed the UK import market into Ireland. This not only screwed over private buyers, but it also screwed over the dealers as well. But it was here where they realised something. Cars across the world had gotten really expensive. And although this is the same in Japan, it didn't really have the same effect. And if you know about cars from Japan, you would know that they are some of the most well looked after cars in the world. Most Japanese consumers will own a car for up to maybe 4 years and do only around 60,000 kilometers on the clock. And because the population of Japan is so much bigger than the likes of Ireland and the UK, there is a massive selection of cars for sale. And the Japanese have this down to a T. There are massive auction warehouses and auction websites where you can buy a car online and have it shipped within a couple of days. So you might be wondering, how do we do this? It's actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be. Now, there are two ways that you can do it. You can do it kind of the original way, which was getting in touch with a Japanese importer. I know there was one called JDM Auction Watch, which are based in Ireland, and I do think that they do imports to other countries as well. And basically, you then get in touch with them, you go, hey, I want this particular car. They'll then give you kind of an evaluation of how much it's going to be, but they will also have like an auction site dedicated to them. So then you can either get someone or yourself to go onto these like Japanese auction sites and you can try win the auction. The auction can be done within a couple of seconds, if not a few minutes as well. And then when you win the auction, these JDM importers will look after you with most of the other things. I know with JDM Auction Watch, they can cover everything when it comes to Ireland. So shipping costs, now you have to pay a little extra for insurance and obviously for their services. But at the end of that particular day, I think they'll even cover the registration as well. So it really is a very handy thing to do. This is the safest and easiest way to import a car. It may not be the cheapest, but that peace of mind that you get, and considering that you're working with experts in the area, you will definitely feel a lot more confident putting your money down. Now, another method is literally shopping online. No, I'm not joking. You can actually buy cars directly from a website. Now, obviously you can pay a little extra to get your insurance and people to inspect it, which is all well and good, but you kind of are dealing with the thing yourself. So unless you've really researched everything to a T, then this might be a little bit risky for some people. But literally you can go on, I know there's Car from Japan is one website, you can search a particular car and you can see it there for sale. They'll even like add like an import cost as well. But yeah, I think here the benefit that this has over the importers is that you have a wider stock available and like you can look at them from like within days in advance and stuff. Now, with the types of payment and purchasing of Japanese imported cars you can do, we're going to get into a pretty important section. In Japan, there is a grading system for used cars. This is a tool that can separate thousands of different vehicles, and it can basically is entirely based on the car's quality. So it separates you from getting something immaculate to a lemon. The first one is grade 7, 8, 9 or S. These refer to brand new cars with only delivery miles. Then up next we have grade 6. Grade 6 is sometimes kind of like the equivalent of the grades above, but with a little bit more than delivery miles. Then we have grade 5, which again is like the grades 6, 7, 8, 9 and S, but the difference is that the car is in superb condition, very close to brand new, but it will have fewer than 1,000 kilometers on the clock. And then we go on to the kind of the highest that you would expect if you're getting like an older car. So if you're looking at some Japanese hero like an Evo or a Skyline. This is grade 4.5. This is the kind where most of the car's vehicle is in excellent condition and it was bought and it may only have a few tens of thousands of kilometers on the clock. You could be looking at like a 2003 Evo 8 that could be in this sort of grading from maybe to have maybe something like 40,000 kilometers, which is ridiculous. Then you have grade 4, and this is basically you're going to have a very good, strong, rust-free, solid vehicle with under 1,000 kilometers on the clock, which is about 60,000 miles. And then you have the grade 3.5, which is a higher mileage vehicle, and it might need a little bit of love to clean up, but other than that, the car is solid. It's still a very good grade to get. The grade 3 means it's very high mileage, and it might be a little bit rough around the edges. Then there's grade 2, which can be a very rough vehicle, and these particular cars would have corrosion, and hence why that's triggering the low grade. Then we have grade 1, which can usually be a heavily modified vehicle that could have like a new engine or a transmission fitted to it, could have been turbocharged, and potentially floor or fire damage. And then we have grades R and 0, which is basically to tell you that the car has been written off in its past and repaired. I think with that in mind, I would probably avoid those. So yeah, once you learn about all of the different kinds of grades that the Japanese used car market has, you can then obviously adjust your budget and adjust what you're looking for with that in mind. So yeah, that's all you really need to do to import a car from Japan. I'm going to leave a few little kind of like links in the description just for 2 places that I was kind of doing my research on. And with that in mind, that is all. What do you think? Are you going to import a car from Japan anytime soon, or were you just happy to enjoy the video and maybe keep it in mind and for the future? With that in mind, I think you should like and subscribe to the channel so you know to go back to the video whenever you want to watch it. If you have any feedback or any other tips, leave it down in the comments below. And with that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you all very, very soon.